There's something really therapeutic about doing this. I don't know why. What's up, folks? Today we are going wife mode. Wife mode means we're playing my favorite wife deck. Very good. Today is Gavrail. So this is another deck that got really good support in set 9 and has now as a result become actually pretty good and considered a genuine meta competitor. And all it really took was one good stride to fix the deck's biggest issue, which was deck out. So now we basically have Gavrail in the form of rescue, and the deck actually has a couple of different builds, and there's people that focus on the deck being full on crit, and then there's people that focus on the deck being full on stand. I myself prefer the stand build because I am a TCG player and I've played the Ultima stand loop of Gavrail quite a lot back when that was a deck in the TCG itself. And so I always felt that like stands in Gavrail are better because of the fact that you can kind of loop a bunch of attackers and get those restands mid-battle phase, and then those extra attacks are usually what win you the game rather than just like trying to pressure the opponent with like big crit attacks a bunch of times and stuff like that. So we're going to try that build out today. I've been playing it quite a lot. I've been playing it on stream as well, and we've been able to play some pretty clean games on stream as well with the deck. So hopefully today's games in the video will be at least partially as smooth as the ones on my streams, although usually that is never the case. Anyway, let's take a look at the deck itself. Of course, if you know me, I really like Angels. It is one of my favorite clans. It didn't used to be until the G era, but Gavrail kind of converted me, and ever since then I've been a really big fan. So let me break down the list. So here is what the rescue stand build looks like, and in my opinion it runs really smoothly. So of course, Gavrail is the main unit that we're going to be going with. She has a GB2, which is now a lot more useful than before. Every time a card is put into your damage zone, for that turn your front row gets plus 2k, so every single time that happens, right? So if you take a damage, you get the 5k from the damage by default, then this makes into a 7, and then if you take another one, you basically get 14. So this can really shut down certain combos, which is really cool, especially thanks to the rescue PG. On top of that, she has a really good on-stride ability, which is you can count almost 1 to look at top 3 of your deck, put 1 to damage, and then choose a card from your damage zone and call it. And if you called a face down, then the card you put also goes face down. This is just good because on first strike, she lets us set up a board, and then we start rescue checking, so we give the power counters to those units, and then we make them nice and buff before we start to try to proc stand and stuff like that. Our backup grade 3 is Faleg. So Faleg was a really good grade 3 introduced in set 9 of the TCG, as well as a double rare. She's a triple rare in 0. Her skill first is in the drop zone. If you dropped her as or discarded her as a stride cost, because she's a grade 3 of course, then you can soul blast 1 and put her to the damage zone and then heal 1. So she doesn't rescue with that skill, but she puts herself to the damage zone, which is sort of a rescue. And then the second skill she has in the damage zone is GB1. You can almost 2 to call her out and give her plus 2k, and then you put the top card of your deck into your damage zone. And then if you called her from face down, the card you put goes face down, and then you heal 1 and deal yourself 1 damage, therefore being a rescue check. So you essentially get to just force out more rescue checks with her. It's CB2, but you basically make it back with the rescue. And like in general, this deck does not have any CB issues because of rescue in general, right? That's kind of like the strong point of this deck. If anything, the soul is the bigger issue, and we end up rewriting our Gavrail sometimes just to gather more soul. So yeah, she's just a good card to like force out more rescue checks in order to find more stand triggers. And then I play a one-of the Surgery Angel, because this, in my opinion, is a better stand than Refrost in this deck, because Refrost is good for like recycling key pieces, but you oftentimes want them in the damage rather than in the deck. And because of the way the deck works now with putting back all the stuff that you heal away from the drop zone to the deck, we don't really need Refrost anymore either. So instead we use Surgery Angel, who says GB1, rescue 1, at the end of the battle that he boosted, count almost 1 and put him back to the deck to heal 1 and deal yourself 1. So this can randomly proc a stand trigger mid-battle phase, which is obviously very big, and that can just randomly win you games. And then of course 4 heal guards, nothing too crazy about that. For the grade 2s, I think the most important card is Banya now. She says Reguard Circle GB1, rescue 1. When you call her, if Vanguard is a grade 3 greater Gavrail, you can count almost 1 soul plus 1, and then put a card from hand to damage, very good. And then you choose a card from your damage zone and call it, and then this unit gets plus 2k. If you call the face down, the card you put also goes face down, and then you heal 1, deal 1. So she basically sets up your board and then rescue so you can give power after that, so it's very good. Then we still play 3 Haruts, because Harut is a nice extender on top of everything else. When she attacks the Vanguard while being boosted, on GB1, cost 1, look at top 3, put 1 to damage, and then call 1 from damage. If you call it face down, the card you put goes face down. The usual. I'll stop saying that part of the text because it's always the same. So Haru is just as good as she used to be, but now we can pair it together with Aratoron. Aratoron, you could even put Haru down to 2 and play a 4th Aratoron, to be honest. I really like Aratoron. She's one of my favorite cards in general in Angels. She was a very big and useful card in the G era as well as in Premium. She says GB1, rearguard circle once per turn. When a card goes or like is rescue checked during your turn and goes to the drop zone, you can cost 1 and choose a card that was sent to the drop zone by this ability and call it to the same column as this unit. So you can either call it behind her or you can call it on top of her. So let's say you rescue check a Zabanya, you can then call her on top of her if she's already attacked, and then Zabanya will call another thing, thus resetting a full column. So you can do some really cool combos with Aratoron. So I think the only problem with Aratoron is that she's much better when your opponent's at 5. So she doesn't really do as much when your opponent's on low damage, in my opinion, because you don't like resetting or getting that extra rear guard out, usually means you're not going to hit if you're pushing your opponent from like 2 to 5 that turn. But if your opponent's already on 5, then she's very good. So I run her at 3 because I'm cool with seeing her later than earlier. And then our last grade 2 is the Kale. Kale says in damage zone GB1, when she is put to the drop zone by a rescue ability during your turn, you can call her out instead. So very good, basically a free intercept that just pops up out of nowhere, which is really nice. We don't even need to like pay any cost for it, which is really strong. So really good grade 2 lineup overall. Then of course we play 4 Stride Fodders, the 1 Battle Cube and no seal, just to like switch out stuff from hand to damage. Just 1 copy because I want to run 4 copies of Malik, because in the stand build I think Malik is very essential. Malik says, when placed from damage zone on rearguard circle, for that turn gain the following ability. GB1, rescue 1. At the end of the battle that she boosted, if that battle was attacking the Vanguard, you can heal 1 and deal yourself 1 damage. So she only works when you boost her attacking the Vanguard, so she's a really good card to put behind the Vanguard as a result. But, of course, when you're extending and doing a bunch of attacks, she can be a really good extender because she's a free rescue that's going to randomly proc an extra stand in the middle of the battle phase, which is really good. Of course, Semi-Smile Angel is the best heal that Angels have because it's an extra heal in deck, which is always good. And then the new PG, which is Dr. Royd Remnon. So Remnon says she's a PG and GB1 in hand. When you perfect guard with her, if you have another Dr. Royd Remnon in the damage zone, you can counterboss 1 to rescue 1. So heal 1, deal yourself 1, which procs Gavrail's GB2, which buffs up your front row even more, which can randomly just like mess up your opponent's combos mid-battle phase. So I really like the stand build, and I know that Zura, I think literally today, uploaded a crit build of the deck, so make sure you check that out as well, because you can kind of see which playstyle fits you best. I keep saying this, but I really like the stand build, and mainly it's because of this card. So Altiel is the new stride that you only really need 2 copies. In my opinion, that you do not need a third, because she says you have this on-stride ability, Rescue X, which is cost 1 and flip any unit face up, and then for every face up Altiel in your G zone plus 1, you rescue that many of your damage. So you heal that many and deal yourself that many, that's why it's X. Then she has a GB3 that you basically never use, which is cost 1 and your front row units get plus 2k. It's not once per turn, so you can like flip all your CB face down to like rescue stuff with your rearguard abilities and stuff like that, if you need that kind of power. I've had to use this ability once when I was like in a real like tug of war, like no resources that like power up my triggers and stuff just to hit. But generally speaking, you don't really use that GB3. And then the most important part is the G-Zone ability. At the end of each of your turns, if you have 2 or more face-up Altiels in your G-Zone, all of the cards that went from your damage zone to the drop zone this turn go back to your deck. This is a phenomenal ability. Like, this literally saved the whole deck. You need 2 copies and you always first try this for that exact reason. After that, you try to basically win the game with the Black Seraph Gavrail. You do need 4 in my opinion. Like, 2 you can get by with, but then like if you don't win that turn, you are very much restricted in what you can do. So I really recommend getting 4. I only have 3 copies. I had to craft my 4th one. She says GB2 when placed on Vanguard Circle, cost 1 G Persona Blast and get the following 2 abilities. First one is, during your battle phase, every time a card is put into your damage zone for that turn, 2 of your units get plus 2k. This means that we can sometimes just like convert certain columns to hit magic numbers to ask for PG, or certainly just hit in general. And then her other skill is when she attacks anything, you rescue 2. So you can even swing into a rear with her and then heal 2 out, and that way your Harut are still attacking into the Vanguard to proc themselves. So that's really important, of course, you know, in terms of where you will attack with her. And the Rescue 2 is really cool because also it's a countercharge 2, and those cards will fly back into the deck thanks to Altiel. So, a really good card. This is your kind of extension, and it basically enables a lot of your win cons and finding the stands and proccing your Aratorons, and then, you know, just going ham and like proccing your Kales and stuff like that. And then we play 4 copies of Raphael, just, you know, GB2 once per turn, GB Sonoblast to heal 1. Sometimes comes up if you get rushed really hard and you don't have, like, you know, the right setup to go into the Gavrails, then you just kind of go into Raphael to kind of like sustain for a turn. This can be virtually anything. You never go into Riel, but you just have one slot that you don't use because your last slot is the Harmonix Messiah, which has been buffed and is a very good card now. So yeah, that is basically it. That is how Gavrail looks now. So let's give the deck a spin. As you can see, I even bought the new skin because I'm a huge Rin fan as well. And I'm just waiting for the, you know, the token shop to update to bring her in so I can pick up my 4th copy of the ranked Gavrails because, you know, for now I just have the original in SP, which is still a pretty art, of course. It's still a pretty art, but enough talking, let's get into some games. Damn, this card looks like freaking Metal Gear Rising, like the dog from Metal Gear Rising. Raid Gull, what a cool dog. Alright, Takto, what are you packing? Gold Paladin, alright. This will be interesting, probably Gurgud, I imagine. We're going second, very important. That is very vital, we like that. So, do we have Gavrail in the opening hand yet? We do! We do. I even forgot how to speak as a celebration. We can keep Harut, I guess, for now. Keep the PG in hand for sure as well, and then try to find a stride fodder along the way. We have 2 PGs in hand, which means we can, like, you don't want to put it into the damage zone too early, because then you'll be just healing it out, and it's not going to go back to deck because you don't have your effects active yet. Okay, my opponent looks to be a huge Azel fan, judging by the Takto sleeves and skin and everything. Azel did get some support, I guess, so, I mean, Azel support is any Gold Paladin support too, right? So, we're gonna ride our only one Nokiel, so we're not gonna be able to do any hand swapping this game. But that's not an issue, because we're gonna draw an extra card here from the heel. Also, you know, I've been kind of enjoying playing decks without draws lately, because I can actually, like, map out my hand without worrying about overdrawing at all, which feels pretty good. So, the Sunny Smile's gonna go back. We still don't have a stride fodder, which is a little bit concerning, so we'll need to either draw into it or discard pretty hard for the stride cost. Ooh, my opponent's gonna punish me for getting a little cocky with the boost, but I mean, I had to boost for that skill and for that battle anyway to hit there, so my opponent's gonna find themselves a Grand Azel Scissors. I'm gonna sit on that Blaster Blade Spirit Body probably, unless they call out. Huh, they're not gonna attack with it, I think. Yeah, they're just trying not to overdraw. So we're going to swing with a 10, not get a draw though, so they're trying not to overdraw, but of course, not going to be that sweet. Ah, the stride fodder that we needed goes away, that's a little bit unfortunate. So here, Malik is fine, but not exactly what I need. Between Harut and this, I think Harut will be more useful. We'll call down the Aratoron here. God, I really hope I don't need to struggle stride, but might end up being the case. Here I don't really mind not giving the CB, or like having to high roll for it, because I want to put the Malik into damage, but things we play floor, so we'll probably see one. It's just that if I have to hard stride, like I'd rather discard these two than discard the Zabanya, because Zabanya is really important for the early game. But the thing is, we won't, I'd rather have her in damage too. Kind of tough. Kind of want to be cocky and just pass here. We're gonna swing. Potentially damage denied. No, we're gonna check a heal instead. Everything works out. That's good. Not punished, and you're rewarded for my greediness, I guess. Sometimes you do win. Sorry, Siri. You need to keep quiet today. not the time for a Siri video. All right, here comes Azel. The usual. So I wonder what they're gonna stride into. Probably just the Gurgud strides, to be honest. I'd imagine this is just a big Gurgud fan, which is understandable. Not Gurgud, big Azel fan. Ooh, that's a good card to go to damage. We can rescue that out very early on too. My opponent also checks a heal. Good for them, good for them. So with this, we're going to be at 2 damage here, unless we proc a heal here, which would be pretty sad. Do we? We do! That's bad timing. I would have preferred this to be in the damage still, but, you know, what can you do? Can't be helped. Stride fodder found last second as well. That is excellent. Alright, so with this, we only have 1 CPU, so you have to be a little bit careful. Going to Gavrail, no new animation here. So I think we'll have to actually go into Altiel first, or like, use Altiel skill first, because we're limited to just 1 CB, so we have to rescue out this, because if we use Gavrail's skill first, she will actually CB the only damage we have. And then we won't be able to, you know, use the Altiel, which is very, very important. So we're going to rescue that out first. A bit unfortunate because I would have liked to put the heal back again, but it's no biggie in that sense. We're going to see what we get. Another Stride Fodder, that's okay. Then we're going to use Gavrail's effect to count +1, and look at top 3. Find a Zabanya, which will not be active if we do choose to call it out. But I think I will choose to call it out because I don't really need the grade 1s on field for the time being. I think here... yeah, we're gonna just call it the Zabanya, just have an intercept. No big rescue combos this turn, I would say. We're gonna basically go for a more bare bones turn. And I guess call out the Malik here as well. Yeah, and just bash. Honestly, we're gonna just bash around a little bit. Nothing too crazy here. How many heals do we have left in deck? 2. Not a very high amount, so we're gonna just attack with the rear first. See if we hit a double stand or something on this turn as well. We haven't seen any triggers yet, so the possibility is there, but hitting like one stray stand here doesn't feel very good. So we don't actually hit it, which is fine. We put our opponent to 3, which honestly on this first strike turn, I prefer to put them on like at least 4. But that's okay, we can do a push turn with Gavrail here. And then the heal that we rescued out, of course, will go back to deck because Altiel skill is active there. So that was a small Altiel, but that's kind of how being on 1 CB feels like. You don't really get to do many plays because it's a, you know, Catalyst reliant deck. So our opponents will probably stride into either the new Gurgwit or Campbell, I guess, is my assumption. It's going to be the new Gurgwit. Alright, so the new Gurgwit basically is an on-attack -1 G Persona to call a card from top 7, and then for every face-up Gurgwit, all of your units get +2k. So all of your Gurgwit strides, including the old one and any future ones as well, which is pretty handy. Oh, they're going to self-damage. Of course, it doesn't do as much outside of like denying me healing, which for me is a good thing. I don't really want to heal here at this point. I want damage above all else. So my opponent will probably like swing this unboosted, then swing with Gurgwit, and then go ham basically. So we're going to pay the cost for the Gurgwit, which will then get the on-attack effects. And then the, of course, power bonus here is also in effect, which will help to deal with my +2k power bonus. It's also been nice that Altiel like activates the GB2 for you, like that's also very cool. Alright, so here Gurgwit's going to swing to rear because it doesn't have to actually swing to Vanguard to activate the effect. Let's see if they find Extender. No, they're going to find another self-damager, which will not proc, of course, because that would make them lose the game. Going to proc a draw, which means that they can now just give the power to the Lion, and then the countercharge already hits, so there's no reason to worry about that. So we're going to get put to 3 here, which is fine for me, to be honest. So this is going to countercharge for them, and then we have a PG in the damage, which is also good, but we might rescue that out before it becomes active. And then this is going to be an 18 versus the 25, which of course still hits, so we go to 3. KL there is also a very pleasant sight, so I'm quite happy about that. Alright, pretty good turn. Again, don't have Stride Fodder, even though I run so many grade 3s, but have not been finding them too much. So we're now 3 to 3. We find the Stride Fodder, but we're not going to be able to rewrite it, so we're going to just pay it for Stride here, and we're going to go into the Gavrail Stride as a result. So this will allow us to use the Gavrail skill on the grade 3 Gavrail skill to call out something, and then the rescue effect will proc. I mean, we can activate this first, just kind of like burn through the CB, and then work our way from there. So, there we go, that's active. Then we use the Gavrail on Stride. You can now use it so freely because you never have to worry about, like, you know, getting screwed over by your freaking, you know... Sorry, what was it? I'm trying to think. You're not going to get screwed over by decking out. That's what I'm trying to say. So here, we're going to call out the Malik here to get 3 rescue checks in the Vanguard circle, basically, which is pretty damn good. And then here, we can essentially be a little bit funky, actually. Zabanya I want to keep in hand for the time being. It's a bit of an awkward fight so far, not going to lie. So here we're going to go unboosted, of course, because we play so many stands, and then we also are in heal range, which is very important. So here we're going to heal 2, and then get a stand, so this is going to go here, and then we're going to get a heal. That doesn't proc, actually, unfortunately. Sorry, what else did we see in that rescue check? It was the Stride Fodder. We can give this power here, and then don't need to rescue yet. For now, let's give you a a 2k and a 2k here, and then not activate Aratron yet. This 28, so it's going to become 30 thingy. Alright, we get a heal here. That's good. For the time being, I kind of want to give this here, in case we get a stand. We don't. Third, we get it. Okay, cool. Nice. So with that, we have some pretty big numbers here. Very nice, very nice. Alright, there's a heal coming out, then we have another rescue check coming in. Another stand trigger checked. Of course, cannot abuse it too much. Hold up. I mean, basically we can just swing with... There's no reason to really use Harut here. Although, actually... could have played that a bit better. There is an interesting play we can do. So we can go like this. Swing with this column first. You'll see why I'm doing this. Use this effect to put Harut in here. Just keep the stands in the deck. And then here we're going to activate the... Call this out. Then this is going to be 27. This will pump it louder. My opponent goes to 5, and then here we swing with this. This can get... I mean, this can also just hit and win, of course. But if they heal out of this, we proc the Surgery Angel, and then that goes back to deck, and potentially checks another stand, and then Gavrail still procs again, so we distribute another plus 2k on the sides, and then we get to potentially hit a stand to attack again. So it's good. Yeah, this deck is fun. It's really, really fun. Alright, fight number 2. Let's get it. It's going to be against Narukami, probably Vanquisher. Seek the Maito. That's right, Osment. Let's get it. Going second again. Very good, very good. As you can see, when I play my favorite decks, I go second. Happy times. Alright, we don't really want this in hand, to be honest. It is a grade 3, but we always want to ride the Gavrail no matter what. We'll try to find it if necessary. A lot of Maliks in hand. I really like Malik, by the way. Also, really beautiful art. So with this, we're going to ride this, probably ride Harut after that. As you can see, like, both of these cards are really useful. Like, both Harut and Aratoron were very important in the last game, but I think Harut is just a tiny bit more important still. It's really hard to say which one's the 4 of, which one's the 3 of. I think the only real 4 of is Zabanya, in my opinion. That, like, you have to play no matter what. I'm going to Malik, she's cute. And then here, they're playing Eradicators, right? No, it's Vanquisher. If it's Vanquisher, I don't really need to be afraid of my heal getting popped, I think. So, just in case they're at a 10k, I will swing unboosted, and then we'll draw on the second attack next turn. So, I think we can ride the Kale, because there's a lot of work to put it into the damage zone from hand. So might as well just ride it, and get it over with. Okay, never mind. There's no fear of having to swing under. If anything, we might be able to get a cheeky 13k attack. Ooh, calls down the crit. That you don't see that very often. Gets the Vanquisher, the beautiful ranked Vanquisher too. It's a really good art, by the way. I like it a lot. We get a heal whiffed. It's a bit unfortunate, but not the end of the world. Still no Gavrails. Goddamn. We're swinging for 12, so it's not really a great number. God, not having Gavrail does kind of hurt because of the GB2, of course. Okay. Let's heal. That sounds good to me. We have 2 heals out of deck, which means we'll put one of these back with a Sunny Smile, so to draw into one. That's fine, honestly. We do need heal guards eventually. So now my opponent's gonna ride up. Vanquisher coming through. No Henry skin. Sag. Unfortunate, to be honest. Ooh, runs the martial arts. I'm a fan of the card, to be honest, because it definitely takes people off guard with the unride skill. If they try to like early rush and then suddenly just get their stuff bound. So it is quite a fun little card. We'll be going to 2, which means we can... Like, thing is, now we don't have Gavrail. So we need to top that Gavrail so we can actually use this. No, not like that! I didn't mean it like that. I meant, like, in my hand to ride, please. Okay, we have another copy of you, which I guess is fine. Just keep in mind, some cards like Zabanya need Gavrail named Vanguard. So that's a bit problematic. At least we can stride normally. Like, Zabanya, for example, now is useless. She needs Gavrail named Vanguard, so... Be careful of those things. It's a bit unfortunate. We find Zabanya. I'm thinking. I have no way to really call things out now from the damage. Let's do the rescue check first, I guess. Just get the rescue check out the way. Yep. Get that out the way. Should I have... The thing is, I can't call anything early. Wow, okay, all my heals are out. That's a bit unfortunate. That's a tiny bit unfortunate. Alright, this heals out. if we can heal all the heals out with rescue checks here, we're kind of okay. Emphasis on kind of, though. Definitely emphasis on kind of. Can also call the Sunny Smile out with this. Yeah, there's a play where we call Sunny Smile out with this effect. God, it's really not great when you don't find Gavrail. So we're gonna swing with Harut here, call Sunny Smile behind the Vanguard, and that will get us a heal use, essentially. No CL, I think I want her in damage this game. We might need to just, like, quickly cop a Gavrail if she goes to damage again later on down the line. So we don't have any heals in deck anyway here at this point. We just have a bunch of stands. Little swing for 49, big number. PG checked. PG checked? Hello? Stand check that doesn't really do anything. So, like, yeah, like I said, these, like, random stray stands are oftentimes useless, but because of, you know, this... Oh, wait. Her effect is only when things go from damage to the drop, so that will not actually be brought back. So, let's use Sunny Smile first to draw, because I think... Oh wait, Gavrail is gonna go back. So you know what, let's use your effect first to send stuff back, and then use the heal to draw, because it's a higher chance of drawing the Gavrail. So, that's decent. My opponent will be binding my whole field here for sure, but at least we have a Stride fodder. And we can go into the Gavrail Stride, which will then enable the Zabanya, because then we'll be on a Gavrail Vanguard, so we can still kind of cope a little bit. And we pushed the 3 on the first stride, which is kind of the same pace as last game. So we'll use more or less the same tools, it's just that we really need to be on a Gavrail Vanguard. Like, that's the most important part. And the nice thing is that we can call out Zabanya and then use our effect to put the Malik into the damage, and then call the Malik out with Zabanya's own effect. And then we still have this in the damage for now, which means we can call it out as an attacker later as well. Because in this matchup, like, we're losing everything anyway, like, in terms of our drop zone. So, I mean, in terms of our front row, sorry. Local man thinking too far ahead. That procs, damn it, that's a bit unfortunate. That's going to be a bit harder to push in terms of numbers and whatnot. We get a stand. Okay, the no CL might actually come in handy here to get that Gavrail out. Not too late still, it's still not too late, but definitely want the Gavrail. Alright, doesn't really matter what you bind from my drop, it's actually a-okay for me. Okay, we don't have Gavrail, but we're going to go into one, ditching for Stride. And then here, we will go into this activated, and Zabanya to find the Malik, I think? We find the Gavrail, okay, never mind. We don't need to worry about no CL anymore, so that's good. So activate that, so that effect is now in effect, haha. And then we call you out. We call out Zabanya. Zabanya's effect. We only have one soul, so let's be careful with that. I'm gonna do this on the Malik. We do want to call the Malik out right here. And now here, we do want the booster on the rearguard swing. It's just that we lose out on the potential rescue check if we don't check a stand. So we're kind of banking on that. KL comes out there. Could have played that turn better. I think I messed up on sequencing a little bit. Should have gotten the Phaleg out earlier, I think. We don't proc your effect here, because she is once per turn, so you have to be careful when you proc her. So here... it's a bit hard. We can swing this Gavrail swing into the rear. It's just that I feel like I'm wasting my stand proc, because how many stands I have left in deck? Only 4? It's actually not that much, so that might not even actually happen. So yeah, let's swing this into rear. Let's swing this into rear, because the chance of proccing it isn't... Forget what I said. Give the power here, and then use Gavrail's effect. Both procs to do this. Then use you. CB1, and call this out to make numbers. And yes, I am aware of the timer, don't worry. We're gonna keep buffing this column, though. Alright, check, check. Check, check. Very cool. That's a good heal, too. That's a good heal. Give the power there. Alright, so now this can swing unboosted. Boom. Very cool. And this can swing boosted. And then potentially proc a stand. And if not, we have... Well, we don't actually get it. If I call you out, your 16 plus 4 doesn't actually hit. Can I choose not to proc? Can I choose not to proc the grade 2? I guess it's better to proc it anyway. Because this is like, this front row is dying anyway, so... Doesn't really make a difference, but, you know, it is what it is. Alright, cool. I got to fast forward through my end of turn. That's kind of nice, but I think that does count as a timeout. So if I do accidentally time out again, I will be punished for that, so gotta be careful. Yeah, we're a bit slow this game, in terms of our pacing. We're a bit slow and we're starting to run out of gas, which is a bit unfortunate. Like, I'm on 3, which means I won't get randomly killed by Vanquisher in that regard. Vang's gonna bind one of my front rows here. Goodbye. And then needs a main phase retire of sorts to get rid of the KL, and then he's gonna hit and bind one of my boosters, but not both. Martial Arts does not have a rearguard circle bind. This also doesn't have a rearguard circle bind, so he actually has to swing into my rear, which means that one of these on hits is... Well, actually, no, they're both still happening. This can swing into rear first, and then get his, like, drop zone bind effect. My back row resists, like, my back row existing at the end of this turn is actually pretty good, though. That's quite important. So now this Vanquisher is going to swing. I will lose one of my back rows, of course, but I also have one left. PG, check this cool information. Heal, come on, man. You're healing more than me. Although I'm the one that can put cards back to deck and my opponent can't, so that's big enough, I guess. We get APG in damage. That's actually huge. Very important. Can I check a... Can I find a Stride Fodder, please? Can I find a Stride Fodder, please? That's not a Stride Fodder. So we have to discard the Gavrail. Alright then. Well, let's just do what we've been doing this whole time. Stick on the far leg and just keep doing our thing. That's just how this game is gonna go. Because we don't really have any other plays. Like, that's just how it is. So... We don't have Soul for Zabanya either, which is very important to keep that in mind. Yeah, we'll do that, activate that, then let's activate you, the CB2, and call you out here, get a rescue check, Shushing, alright, heal that out, Zabanya to damage. Do I have another PG in here? I do not. Alright, in that case... Yeah, let's just go battle. It's not a great hand by any means, but we gotta do what we gotta do, you know. We have enough heals in deck still that could somehow make something happen. I'm just kind of missing some kind of, like, extension. We get a stand, that's good. Give that here for now. We get another stand, that's also good. We can give that here for now. Proc this multiple times. So this will hit over the defensive now, and then we don't proc Aratoron. So that's gonna swing, we're gonna check, get a heal, which is big. Whoops. I misclicked and clicked my OBS by accident. Sorry for spacing out there for a second too. So that puts my opponent to 4, this puts them to 5, and then we ask for a PG. Essentially, even if they check the draw. If anything, the draw is a good thing. Gets them close to the deck out. And I'm not really going anywhere near deck out. So they don't have any heal guards in hand, which means that their last heal is in deck. Interesting. So we put those 4 cards that are normal units back to deck. We're now on 4, and we can proc a rescue on our PG once. But we don't have the GB2 from Gavrail, which is a bit unfortunate. That's like a bit Gonna go into VMAX, so that might actually change things. That might be peskier than I thought, but if my opponent doesn't... Ooh, okay. If my opponent still has their heal in deck, because it wasn't in hand, this could be big. Oh yeah, this attacks the whole front row. We're gonna take a damage here. PG! That's actually not bad, that's not bad. Wait, I'm dead. The rescue doesn't save me, unless I... No, the heal doesn't... The heal doesn't save me. No, but unless we check it... No, if we got any... Oh wait, no, yeah, the defensive saves me. The defensive just saves me as a thing of its own. What can I do with this? My damage doesn't have her in. I think we just stride and pray. Stride and try to outlast. Stride and try to outlast. Like this is like the lag of Gavrail makes this very difficult. But I think we're fighting pretty well considering we've bricked this game. Zabanya doesn't work. She doesn't do anything. We have to pray for stands here. We also don't have soul to use Zabanya anyway, so that's another thing. We still have stands, I think, right? 3 stands? It's a third of a chance, which is how many we have. You know, that's what a triple check is. And my opponent can't attack with the Vanguard, so they only have 2 swings anyway. So... no, we don't hit a stand. That's unfortunate. But it's actually not too bad, because here we pass turn. My opponent has 1 card in deck. They don't have anything that can return. They didn't get to proc their counter charge from the PG. They have a heal and a PG in deck. Oh, that wins the game. That wins the game. Oh, well played, well played. Unless I check a trigger here, in which case I survive, which, again, the chances are fairly high, but chances don't mean much, I guess. We still have heals in deck, but yeah, we just went through 4 cards without checking triggers, so this is the 5th, which might be a crit. Nope. I mean, might be a heal, but it's not. A bit unfortunate. I feel like I should have won that game if I didn't get screwed over by Gavrail's lack of, you know, lack of existence in the hand. But I think we fought that pretty well. Goes to show what the deck can still do if you don't hit Gavrail, but you have to just be very careful with your soul and with like your effects that reference Gavrail's name itself specifically. I wish we could have gotten both wins there. Honestly, I feel a little bit sad because I really love this deck. But sadly, games on average take very long, so I don't want to, like, you know, make this a 1-hour video just because I want to show more games. And it's also midnight here in Japan, so I don't want to, you know, also ruin my sleep schedule by doing so. So yeah, that is the Gavrail deck with stands. I think the first game showed how lethal the deck can be out of nowhere, and the second game kind of showed how you can still fight in times of struggle. It was just unfortunate, like we had 3 triggers in a 9-card deck, and they were all stuck at the bottom. In all of those, like, there were multiple timings there, not so much on our turn, but on our opponent's turn, where that one defensive would have saved us. And unfortunately, our opponent managed to win it with 1 card in deck, which was pretty impressive. So well played to them. So yeah, that is the deck and fight. Hope you enjoyed it, and I hope more of you play Rescue, this next set in English, when it comes out on August 1st. I will next be covering Genesis, so Fenrir. I'm going to start prepping for that. And then I think there's not too much left from set 9, honestly, to cover. Basically just Thavas, I think, as well as Gurgwit. So Gurgwit, I only have 1 copy of the Stride, so I'm gonna have to craft the second one. Basically, Thavas hasn't changed too much. It's mostly just a new Commander Thavas Stride, or the Wailing Thavas, rather. Wailing Thavas. And then, of course, for Gurgwit, it's quite a lot of, like, not too much has changed, but it's just the new cards are very good. That's kind of like the main improvement there. But I think Genesis needs the deck and fight the most because there's a really strong deck that exists in that clan event for you guys that I think a lot of you could use that kind of information. So anyway, folks, that is going to be it for me today. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed today's video. If you liked it, please give it a like, and if you haven't already, please do subscribe. But otherwise, that's going to be it for me today, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.